What's going on, everybody? Welcome out to our 6 o'clock live stream. Hopefully we are live and we made it. I know last week was a fiasco. We apologize for that, but
I blame YouTube.
that was definitely out of my hands last week, and it sucked, to be honest with you, because I could have sat at home and edited instead. Edited? Done editing? Whatever.
No, I edited.
Edited. Yeah, right?
Edited.
It just didn't sound right.
Edited.
But, yeah, man, so I apologize for last week, but I tried to make up for it on the Friday night, hangout, free time. I forget what I called it. Friday free time or something like that. That might be something I look into going forward, just to hang out and, have just like basic conversation. I'd actually like to steer away from tattooing a little bit on those if we were to do them, but we'll see what happens. Tonight we're going to talk about the end of Pagoda City, other tattoo conventions that are closing, that are long-running tattoo conventions, and we're also going to talk about some tattoo shops that are closing at a rapid pace.
I saw another one today.
Yeah,
Tattoo shop in Hawaii.
We're going to talk about that in this episode tonight. So hopefully you all have your tasty beverage in hand and you're ready to kick back and, listen to us ramble for a little bit. But we want you to also take part in the conversation, so feel free to drop any comments or questions in chat, and we will get to them if we can.
That is a tasty beverage.
Yeah. Well, neither one of us drink, so I can't be like, hey, sit down and grab a brewski. But
what, it wasn't
you can.
It wasn't a Pulp Fiction reference?
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And wasn't even trying.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, dude.
Royale with cheese. There you go. See, that's forced. When it happens naturally, it comes out better. Anyway,
that's a damn good shake.
Justin and I got to venture around Pagoda City for the final Pagoda City. One of the questions that kind of came up through people outside of the convention, like I went and sat and talked to Philadelphia Eddie yesterday. No, I
really?
did not.
With a Ouija board?
Sailor Eddie Jr. And he said, why? Why did they close? Did they give a reason? And I said, I don't remember hearing a reason why they were deciding to stop. Other than, I think maybe I saw like an offhand kind of comment about, hey, look, there's just too many conventions now. It's not worth it, or something to that effect. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that was kind of how I interpreted it. And it might not even have came from the people that run Pagoda City. So it's just a theory. I will say it was pretty well attended the day that we went.
Absolutely.
There was a decent crowd there. There was really good artists there. And that's probably one of the best parts about Pagoda City is they were known to be one of the premier tattoo conventions that had not only some more well-known artists, but a lot of up-and-coming artists that were, kind of breaking through that next tier. And I would say that they definitely did that on this convention as well. I thought there was some really cool tattoo-oriented vendors. One of them would be the Black Vulture, or Black Dagger Publications, sorry. I got to talk to those guys for a bit. If you can, check them out. They have some really cool books that are designed by tattoo artists. They're basically the vehicle for artists to get their books out. So it was a lot of cool flash, a lot of cool paintings and drawings and stuff like that, and I thought it was really cool.
So they make these small books, and each book actually is one artist, right?
Yeah.
One artist per book.
Yep.
And it is. I don't think there's tattoos in there necessarily. It's all art, right? It's all their drawings, paintings, and flash.
Correct. But really cool books, man, and they had a lot of
50, 60 of them?
At least different artists. And, I would say it was a 50-50 mix of people that I knew and didn't know. So that's obviously, I don't know every tattoo artist out there, but there were definitely recognizable names that they've worked with. So that was cool, man. It was good to see. Um, there was also some, old school guys that are very well known that were there hanging out. Chris Longo, the mayor of Tattooville.
Yep.
I got to sit and have a pretty long discussion with Mike Skyver. Justin's laughing because I spent a lot of time talking to Mike Skyver.
Let me tell you about tattoo conventions with Buck. Let's do a little aside
about sidebar.
Little sidebar about the tattoo convention with Buck.
Okay.
All right. So I have my style of tattoo convention is a quick run through to sort of see who everybody is there, and then the slow walk through afterward to look at what I'm interested in. Maybe a couple passes, right? So we walk in, and it's like the scene from Star Wars with the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star. Buck gets caught in a tractor beam at the first booth, and then I don't know. I think I wrote a novel. I completed a college degree, built a rocket ship, came back. He's still talking. I may have
raised two kids.
Yeah.
Well, look, when I have the opportunity,
but
go ahead.
In Buck's defense, he doesn't demand that you stand there with him.
No.
We put a tracking device on him, and
look, I always say, hey, look, man, you go ahead and do your thing, dude. I'll find you eventually. I'm in the position right now where if I have the opportunity to spend a couple minutes with somebody to talk that is somebody I hold in high regard, I'm going to take every minute I can to, have a discussion with them. Now, obviously, I'm not going to outstay my welcome, right? He's there to do his thing. But if that person's going to keep talking and keep offering up information, I'm in. I'm there. I'll hang. The one cool thing that Mike did have, and I'm going to show you guys a couple pictures here in a second, but he had a lot of really cool photographs hanging on the banners behind him. A lot of the more famous tattooed people pictures that you've seen, black and whites.
The Coble stuff.
Yeah. So some of the stuff that I actually got in that book from Jay Brown from the Northwest Tattoo Museum, and I believe he may have gotten a majority of that stuff off of Skyver. Now, for the people that don't know out there, Mike Skyver and his wife, I don't remember his wife's name, they did have a tattoo museum, and I guess it would be like Northeast Pennsylvania, and it burnt down. And, unfortunately, he lost some stuff in that fire. He also had guys that were either in the process of starting museums or already had a museum that were, nice enough, I guess, to make purchases off of Mike to pay for some of the billing of, the building burning down and stuff like that, and also to save some of the stuff. So the one picture I'm going to show you here in a second is a cool drawing that he did. He actually let me take a picture of the original drawing. It was a centerfold for Skin and Ink magazine. I always wanted to say anyway, Skin and Ink. So I got the original picture plus the picture that was in the magazine, which was really cool.
And from what I understand, Mike actually made a point of talking about the tech that he used in the drawing. He did it when you see it. I mean, he did it with just a number 2 pencil, not even drawing pencils, not even like 6Bs, 4Bs. I mean, he did it with a number 2 pencil.
So here's a picture I snapped real quick. He figures he turned the exact moment that I went to snap the picture. So it's Mike and Mary Skyver. They originally had the museum in Northeast Pennsylvania and now have it as a traveling museum. And here's a cool picture of Mike. I think he was actually talking to Chris from Inkvasion magazine, who I had a really nice conversation with, and he was like, "Hey, Buck, man, I just want to let you know that I still have you on the front page of our Inkvasion.com website. And I said, I know, dude, I still put on there, featured on Invasion magazine. So props to those guys for still hanging with us. This next picture is the actual picture that we were talking about, though. So this is the drawing that he did for Skin and Ink magazine, and all hand drawn by pencil. He made a point, and I'm going to see if I can blow this up without screwing up the picture. Right in here, he talked about how he spelled Rogers wrong on the original copy, and kind of did like a FU and did it anyway again. Sarah, thank you for the $5 super chat.
So did you ever draw with pencils?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Well, did you ever draw with like artist pencils?
No.
So normally, if like my drawing pencils, this is what I was trying to say before. They vary in degree of hardness and how well they can be blended with a blender, right?
Okay.
So he didn't use drawing pencils on that. He just used to. That's pretty amazing, man. That's like old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this actually wound up. What's up, Mike Irons, hanging out with us tonight? This is the picture that wound up going into the Skin and Ink magazine.
Is it, or is that the original?
No, so the original's here. This is the original that he drew.
Right.
And then this is the picture here that wound up actually getting published in Skin and Ink Legends. So really cool to see, man. And like I said, it was more about, hanging out with him and, kind of throwing some stuff past him. And he was down for doing an interview, so that's going to happen. He actually gave me his phone number, which kind of blew my mind.
So it was funny talking to him and talking to Chris, because I had mentioned that I had some spider web flash that was in the Spalding catalog, and they both insisted that the spider web that is in the Spalding catalog is not the spider web from New York City. And we got to talking, and I just I questioned myself afterwards, but I was like, I met him a couple times, and he was kind of a dick. Because I don't know, he was kind of a dick to me.
Spider Web?
Spider Web was, yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
I mean, I obviously have never met him, but on interviews and stuff that I've seen, he seemed kind of like standoffish.
And he those guys were both like, yeah, he's a friend of ours. But yeah, if he didn't know you and you were just some, and I was like, yeah, I was just a nameless black-shirted bald artist. He's like, yeah, he was going to be a dick to you.
Right.
But like one of them, it's like one of them things where you tell the truth about somebody and then you're like, fuck, man, maybe I shouldn't have. But
I just said that out loud.
They were really cool.
What's up, Artie? Yeah, but so it was really cool to sit down and talk to Mike. There was Tom Beasley I wanted to see, but I thought he was tattooing there, but he wasn't. He was just there hanging out, walking around the day before. So I missed him. I wanted to have a sit down with him real quick because RC from Tattoos by RC, who we actually had on our live stream one night, he said that's really somebody I need to talk to. The guy's chock full of tattoo history, and he would be a good person to sit down with. So that is something I'm going to try to do in the very near future. Right now, I am almost done editing the Ronnie Delacqua video. I know I just said this the other night, and I know I'm dragging my feet on it, but in all due fairness, I did not drag my feet. My computer just crashed out on me. But I got good news. I just fixed it. I just got it fixed. So hopefully I could finish that up within the next day or two. And I am going to break it into 4 different shorter episodes due to the poll that I did on the community post saying, hey, if I were to take a hour long, let's break it up into 15 minutes. Would you guys enjoy it? Would you, we'll see how it goes. We're going to test the waters. I know I tried it before and it didn't work out too well. So Drag said this is the best we've sounded so far. So hopefully we're on the right path. I think I'm starting to work out some of the bugs on this thing. I don't have any wood, but yeah. Anyway. So with that being said, we're in this weird spot where Pagoda City closed down. Civ decided he wasn't going to do another New York City TatCon. Now, obviously, that wasn't a long-running convention, but in my mind, that was a pretty amazing convention. The amount of talent that he put together in one room was off the charts.
And for you guys that don't know, the thing that made Pagoda City pretty distinctive is that Blackheart Tattoo from San Francisco would show up, Doubleman would show up, Bill Canales from California would show up. I mean, a lot of guys that definitely do not come to the East Coast and are not part of like the bigger convention scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You could find them at Pagoda. That was like their East Coast stop.
You fanboyed out at Pagoda.
Oh yeah, with Jeff Raschier, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just funny, right? This is just funny. So I'm talking to this artist that I really like, Jeff Raschier, because he does this like super weirdo psychedelic art, but he does it like traditional tattooing. He works at Black Art Tattoo, and then he goes, yeah, you know, when I go to Jersey, I go to this Italian restaurant. It's the best Italian food I've ever had. And I'm like, oh yeah, really, man? He's like, yeah, I've been to Italy a bunch of times, and it was one of the moments where you want to say, oh yeah, I jaunt to Italy fairly often as well. Italy.
Chris Hawkins with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, much appreciated.
Yeah, I jaunt. How often do you jaunt to Italy? How often do you
Never
see
been.
Do
Never
you see
been.
the continent. I mean,
never been. I don't have any interest in going to Italy.
But just how casually, like, I mean, I'm like, dude, you're living on a different planet than I am.
Yeah.
Trips to Italy, yeah.
The
best I got is trips to South Philly.
Now, I mean, he got pretty well known there for a bit, right? I mean, he was in some different magazines and stuff like that. Like his name was getting put out there pretty often.
Yeah, Jeff is, I think. So Blackheart is Scott Sylvia, and who was a great artist and machine builder. And I think Blackheart Tattoo in San Francisco is like a stop.
Okay.
Where people that work at that shop are all like just top tier hitters. You know what I mean? It's like an old city shop.
So, locally, what would you say would be our like heavy hitter? People always stop in their shop.
In Philadelphia?
Yeah.
I would say Old City.
Old City?
Old City, yeah.
Okay.
You're always gonna like. I think every artist in Old City is gonna be doing incredible tattoo work.
What's up, Tom?
And that style of like tattooing.
Yeah. So Fat Cracker just said Sicily is fire. Spent 2 summers there. Not me, dude. I've never been there. So, speaking of Fat Cracker, though, let's get this out of the way real quick. I wanted to show you guys this. Fat Cracker he gets
famous.
Yeah, man. He gets parts in TV commercials and different videos and stuff like that. And he did this one. Now I'm gonna try to stop it as quick as I can so I don't get a copyright strike for the guy's music. But he was in this video for Red Leather.
Who the fuck are you?
Red Leather.
What the fuck is that?
I'm a singer. I'm just playing some music.
Here? The fucking Roxy, son. You know how many shows I've seen in this place? Prince, Guns N' Roses, hundreds of shows, man.
That's incredible. I'm actually playing right here, August 14th.
Oh, shit. I'll tell you what, play me a song. I want to hear it.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm going to stop it there because he starts to go and play, and I don't want to get a copyright strike. But props to Fat Cracker for getting a part as a biker, and I guess it's a promo reel for that Red Leather guy. I've actually seen that dude before. Not really my type of music that I listen to. He's a phenomenal singer and guitar player. It's just not my thing. But I've seen the dude before. And the only reason I think I've seen the dude before is because of the whole, he doesn't show his face.
Yes.
He's one of those dudes. Like, what's that? Marshmallow? Is that the dude? The DJ Marshmallow? They used to wear the big marshmallow on his head?
And the mouse, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You said it. And I was like, ah.
The mouse.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but, Yeah, man.
Do the gorillas not show
Wait.
themselves?
So he did not send that to me, by the way. I saw it myself, and I said to him, "Yo, dude, I'm putting that on the live stream." So he didn't even post that himself. I know how it got on my feed, but anyway, the gorillas do not show themselves.
They play behind
They're fully animated. So when they have like a concert, they do like a whole like hologram animated thing up on stage. It's not them on stage. And the lead singer, I think, for the Gorillaz is the dude from Blur. The lead singer for Blur.
Oh.
So one of those 90s Brit pop bands that kind of broke out when Oasis broke out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, man, Fat Cracker getting to do his get his groove on with that's awesome, dude. Congrats. He didn't want to play it. He was like, I said, dude, F that, man. I'd be celebrating that. That's awesome. Nobody else is doing it. I will say though, so I guess because I watched that one, it came up on my feed again, and it looked like he did another one with the Chicano tattoo artist, Tone Chingone. I can't remember his name, but it looked like him, and I was like, oh shit, I wonder if he's just kind of. I'm actually curious as to why he's picking tattooed, rough-looking people for that, but that'd be interesting to.
Do you think that's just a decision that that one of his? I mean, if he's in LA, he probably has handlers that make those decisions for him, right?
Oh yeah.
This is the direction that we want to go in.
So Fat Cracker just said it got 3.2 million views on Instagram. Sure,
famous, bro.
Bro, you could at least put on a Tattoos and Reviews T-shirt when you were doing that. Man, come on, man, you're slipping, dude. Anyway, let's get back into it. So, what other, big
another thing at Pagoda that was incredible, dude, was so a lot of Japanese tattooing is based on a print form which I'm going to completely mispronounce, called ukiyo-e. And because there was so much literacy in Japan before there was a lot of literacy in Europe, they would, do horror stories and crime stories, and and the woodblock prints that were made were like, you could buy them.
Yeah.
They were like sort of a working class thing that people could get, and this dude at Pagoda was selling them as like fine prints, but like actual 120, 130, 140-year-old Japanese woodblock prints. And it was, I've never, outside of a museum,
never seen it before.
Never seen them in my life, dude. And it was just like, I hope everybody that was into Japanese tattooing had a chance to stop by that booth and really.
Right.
Because with the ukiyo-e art form, so if you look at a tattoo chosen at the Watergate, right, which is a Japanese tattooed warrior holding up the metal gate, you can actually see Horihides, Horiyoshis, Horichos, like every Japanese tattooer has a version of that. It's the same image, but it's his take on it. And then if you go back to like ukiyo-e prints, you can see where it's based off of, like whether it's Kunisada or one of the other guys, Yoshitoshi. And yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just
what? I didn't say nothing.
No, it's just a pretty amazing thing to see, man.
I just don't have any input because you started throwing names out at me.
I know, that's what I was
saying.
saying.
I'm like,
it's like macaroni and.
No. You know what the thing is, dude? Is I need to start learning some of that stuff. I wanted to dive into the whole, Asian.
Just like American traditional tattooing has Rock of Ages,
yeah,
and Pharaoh's horses, they have, the Japanese had those same images, really.
So when I did the interview, I don't know if I talked about this or not. I think I was going to talk about it I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but I did an interview with a guy, Coach Colin. He wanted to interview me on how I got into this whole tattoo history thing, and it went really good. But he asked me about some of the, the Japanese and stuff like that, and I said, look, I love it. I just don't. I'm not well versed enough to even have that conversation. Because he said that he really enjoyed, that style as well, and I said I do too, man. I said, but when I was doing this, I started off with American traditional stuff because that's where I guess the people I was around were into. You've obviously, changed it up and you've taught me some stuff, but I'm not well versed enough to, have that conversation on a professional level to be like, hey, this is, you know what I mean? Like it would have been like somebody trying to talk to me about classical music.
Right. I
Not
understand.
really my forte. I love music. I just don't know enough about classical music for me to have that conversation.
So for a little while, when I was really digging Japanese tattooing, I was trying to go as much as possible to the source art because what I was reading was that, for instance, like with a foo dog and Japanese tattooing, you only put I think it's cranes and chrysanthemums.
Okay.
So, like American tattooers were taking foo dogs and surrounding them with cherry blossoms, and it's a beautiful tattoo, no doubt. But it's not really, if you want to honor the art form in its most original manifestation, you want to have the correct correspondences. These are
Right.
the flowers that go with these animals that go. So
So
I could really nerd out about it, dude.
this is actually I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but that's the interview that I did. He kind of went all in and asked me, personal questions about like my sobriety, being in the music business. So it's a pretty in-depth conversation where it's not just about tattooing. He wanted to, at the end, wanted to really focus on the whole, haunted tattoo shop at Convent Tattoo, which was cool. I had no problems talking about that. I actually reached out to Sophie and said, hey, look, I talked about the tattoo shop because we got on the subject. I don't know. I think it was about that Annabelle doll or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
So the dude that was dragging him around dropped dead, and the place he was at before the Gettysburg convention burnt down, and then the minute that the Annabelle statue gets to the Gettysburg Tattoo Convention, we all and everybody in Pennsylvania got a statewide alert that the
Right.
911 was down, and wound up having tornadoes that day. Like, dude, put that doll on the freaking other side of the planet, please. Get that thing the hell out of here, man.
So I have potentially haunted stuff in my tattoo shop. I got a couple things where it really is. They do seem. It's not like they walk around or whatever, but they do. They change where they are oddly, and they're not near any windows, and they're not near any part of the floor that vibrates. When I first saw this stuff happening in the shop, that's what I figured, but they stay in the glass case.
Yeah, and they do move around by themselves.
Yeah, they don't like my monkey arm, my human jawbone. I got an old vintage Ouija board. I got a possessed monkey toy. They're in the case. That's it, man.
So
I'm not playing around with them.
Justin Fat Cracker said, have you seen Katana Tattoo TV on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
So sounds like you might want to check that out. And then Fat Cracker said, most American tattoo artists do fantasy Japanese tattooing and not traditional. Both styles are beautiful. Both are my favorite. So I really, I love it too, dude. I just don't know enough to sit there and cut it up about it.
I always really.
I actually said to the dude, I go, dude, I wish my boy Justin was here because he would be like, I could have left the room.
I really want to do. I'd like to do a project now where I did an anime back piece, but done with traditional Japanese background. So like a Dragon Ball back piece would, and I'm gonna humiliate myself because I don't know anything about anime or manga, but like Shenron and
The
the
gas
Dragon
station?
Ball, yeah, the Dragon Balls and all that stuff. But put that in like a traditional Japanese background. I think that would look dope, dude.
Well, you're actually working on a traditional tiger.
Yeah, tiger back piece.
Yeah, man. Looked pretty cool. Justin was wrapping up with that today when we came in. But, yeah, so going back to the closing of, tattoo conventions, with Pagoda cutting down, Civ's not really 100% on whether the New York City TatCon is going to happen again. Do you feel like maybe the larger convention circuits like Villain Arts is going to start pushing down or pushing out some of the smaller conventions? Because they're so... I think there's basically a Villain Arts tattoo convention every weekend at some part in the country. Like this weekend was Wildwood for us in Jersey. Do you think they're going to start pushing out the smaller conventions?
So I think Troy is a businessman,
Yeah, for sure.
and as a businessman, I think he puts business first. And if it's in his business interest to shut down smaller conventions, so his conventions does better, I mean, I don't think he's gonna. I don't really see Troy as, and I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be personal. Like he would try to shut down other conventions.
It would just be the repercussions of doing business.
He's going to put his convention on when it's best for him.
So let me ask you something.
Because Pagoda was last week, or Pagoda was 2 weeks ago, and Wildwood was this weekend.
Yeah.
So for most people, if they got to choose, I mean, a Saturday at a convention for a lot of people, that's
Yeah.
that's a couple $100, right?
Well, yeah, easy. I mean,
So-
you figure, 25 to get in, food, and then if you are talking about getting a tattoo, usually tattoo prices are more expensive at a convention, so you're going to pay a little bit more for a tattoo. Yeah, man, it could be a pretty expensive weekend.
Yeah, so if you're in Philly, it's going to be an either or.
Right, because
Right.
it's smack in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you something. I don't have any other tattoo conventions off of the top of my head right now that are closing, but I know that there have been in the past. Some fairly big conventions that are no longer happening anymore. But do you think that there's a direct correlation between that and these shops that are closing up?
So,
Same principle?
no, actually.
Okay.
So,
Medusa, what's up, brother?
there's a lot of I'm a competent tattooer, right? Like I can put in a good line, good shading, solid color. Like I'm not burning up the world, man. I'm not gonna draw a dragon design that breaks the internet. I'll do a really beautiful tattoo of that design, but I'm not the guy that's drawing it on skin. And there's a whole tier of tattooers above me that are doing work I couldn't even think to do. So tattooers like me that are competent enough to make a living but aren't maybe as good at social media or have put a lot of time in and are tired of it, or I think we're going to exit.
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that I noticed, and this is something that Sailor Eddie and I were talking about, is that the shops that are closing aren't all necessarily new shops either. I think it's a mixture of old shops and new shops that are closing. So I guess where I'm going with this is, yeah, there's going to be new shops that close because, hey, look, man, maybe they opened up during COVID or whatever and thought it was going to be a boom from here to eternity, and that's not the case. But then there's also the older guys that are, just getting to the point where they don't want to do what you just said. Like, they don't want to do social media and they don't want to do the extra stuff because they're like, why? But here's another thing that you and I both noticed, and we're not going to say names. So remember that.
What?
There's also
Do you see that? Do you see that, guys? Like, I'm going to say some.
you will, but Medusa with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you.
What kind of creature is it that fights tigers?
I don't know.
Dragons?
Dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there's the irony of this is there are influencers that are going around talking about how much apprenticeships are bullshit, but then on the backside in the sneak back door they're offering online courses. So it's like, okay. So are you really bashing the apprenticeship thing because you got your little side hustle going on in the background that you're trying to keep secret that everybody found out about, and now you're like, oh.
So do you remember the infomercials where the dude was like, he'd always be like,
but wait, there's more.
right. He'd always be in the nice house with the car.
Who was the dude with the Floby?
In 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you the secret.
The dude, he was pretty famous, man. Like, and he did the Floby.
I don't remember.
Matter of fact, I think they did a documentary about that dude. It's the dude, the older guy with the brown hair that had like the hair helmet. Oh man. And this
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Like he was known for doing that. But that's kind of how. Dude, when I found that out, it almost felt like a.
What do you mean the Floby?
Dude, the thing you used to attach to your vacuum cleaner and it would cut your hair. I never had it. Thank God. But there were people out there that were walking around with some janky ass haircuts because their mom and dads were using Floby.
But I mean, yeah. So if you're hustling like tattoo, if you're hustling a tattoo apprenticeship program online, or a make your business better program online, or these are the secrets to social media, then of course you're going to go out there and be like, apprentices are a scam.
Right. And I think that's like you're disingenuous at that point.
Yeah. Well,
You're out there.
You're shilling.
You're bad mouthing a craft that you decided to get into, and now you're cutting the legs out from underneath it to make your own money.
So
I don't want to get stuck on this.
No, but in this discussion, right, that we're talking about, one guy did ask a pretty pertinent question, right?
Okay.
What's the alternative?
Right. Well, so the alternative is, I guess, this dude's like side hustle online courses or tattoo schools.
Like, it's just amazing to me. Like, I mean, like trades. I was on the bike today, saw a big sign. The local plumbing union are looking for apprenticeships.
I'll tell you what, dude.
Looking for apprentices.
I know this is not the topic of discussion, but you get in with a good union, dude, you can make some serious bucks.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what you do when you're a steam fitter.
Yeah.
When you're an electrician, when you're a plumber.
Yeah, let's not get hung up on this conversation.
We're not getting hung up on it, but like
Bill O'Connell with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir.
I don't understand the aggro.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I think at first I would have been like, "Hey, man, why? What's with the why the aggro?" But then you find out that the dude's got a little online school in the background, and you're like, "Oh, okay, now I understand." But let's go back. Let's circle this back around. I mean, is the shops closing in correlation to the same thing with the conventions closing? Because now there's so many conventions. Like, you could literally go to a tattoo convention every weekend.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a villain arts convention. It could be, numerous other ones, because there's plenty of people that have good conventions out there.
Dude, I'm from upstate New York, right? I'm from up halfway between New York City and Montreal, Canada. There's a convention near my hometown now.
There you go.
Like in Jaboke.
Okay.
Like Pig Snout, New York.
So I know that the Saratoga's a big one.
Yeah, Saratoga.
Okay.
I'm from 10 miles north of Saratoga.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere. Saratoga is in the middle of nowhere.
But they also have, I think that they try to bring in, like, I know Ronnie Delaco goes there,
Yeah.
Crooked Ken. So there's, I think they're trying to. Either way, I'm just saying. I mean, is it now? There's
what-
so many conventions now that some of these other conventions are going to start to fall off. Just like there's so many shops now that some of these other shops are starting to fall off.
So, yes, because tattooing eats its own, man. Really.
Yeah.
Tattooing eats its own. Clients, I mean, some clients care about history and lineage, but a lot of clients just care about the nature of the image.
Yeah.
And if you can't produce that now,
You're dead in the water.
dead in the water.
I just found it interesting that, like, not only is it some big name people that are, calling it quits, but again, some of the big name shops. I mean, I personally don't know the shop, but there was a shop in the UK that was, from what I understood, a very long standing shop with a lot of history and lineage to it. To the point where I saw Lal Hardy saying, like, "Oh man, it's a shame it's closing, dude. A lot of good times in that shop."
Because they don't care.
Yeah. Ink Slingers in New York City back in the day was the best conventions ever. Fat Cracker just said that.
I gotta say, well, Inkslinger was in L.A., right? On the East Coast,
He's saying Ink Slingers in New York City.
Inkslingers in New York City. Nah, I would say Roseland.
Okay.
I would say the Roseland convention in New York City and Richmond. Richmond was a banging convention. Richmond was an artist convention.
I'm at the point right now where I'm by no means an expert on conventions. I mean, I've been to a good amount so far, but I would say that my favorite is definitely Norfolk because of not only the people that are there as artists, but the size of it. It just had it reminded me of like the 90s when I would go to conventions. So, like to me, I guess maybe it has like a nostalgic feel, which I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, especially if you're a business. But to me, it was like, I really like that convention. It's very similar to Pagoda City.
Right.
Pagoda City had the same kind of feel to it. It felt very like low key, no attitudes. Everybody was really cool. Like even the shops that I wound up talking to the two guys from London,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Dude, next time you're there, come make sure you hit me up, man. Come on over, hang out." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in." I mean, I don't know when I'm going to get to go to London again, but
So I was thinking about something the other night as far as like tattooers that started during COVID, right, with the COVID money. So when I bought my first shop, Iraqi freedom was just declared. Fort Dix, I was outside of a military base, and suddenly it was just inundated with people that were going to the Middle East. And it was the first shop that I owned. And for that first year or so, like on Fridays and Saturday nights, I'd be counting the shops take, $1,000, $2,000 night was $1,000, $2,000 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night was not. That was common.
yep.
That was me tattooing, getting my percentage and the percentage of the guys that work for me. But the thing about it is that I began to think, because that was my first experience as a shop owner, right? I was like, this is going to be the rest of my life, right? I guess this is what tattoo shop owners make. They make,
Yeah.
they make $2,000 in a weekend. Now, fast forward 18 months, when the the deployment rate had slowed down and it wasn't centered on Dix as much anymore. And
He meant Fort Dix, by the way. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Fort Dix. It wasn't centered on the Dix as much anymore. Like suddenly, that wasn't the case. It wasn't $2,000, $3,000 weekends. So I got to wonder about like the youngsters, man. You know, if they started when everybody had all that COVID money,
Yeah, no, I think that had a lot to do with it,
and
dude.
suddenly
And
like
let's face it, too, man. I mean, you know, I think that the economy right now doesn't really help.
right, but it's shut. Well, you know, from the not to get into your story personally, but like you told me when you quit the music business where you were making a pretty high end dollar,
Yep.
suddenly,
And yeah, I went to making like, you know, nothing.
right? It's shocking, right? When suddenly the money that you thought was going to be there isn't there. So how many of the second, third, fourth year tattooers are experiencing that now?
Right on. So Medusa said, thanks, guys. All. I'm looking for recommendations for a few upcoming trips: Stockholm, Copenhagen, Madrid, heading to Amsterdam. Hope to connect with Hank. Hoping to head back to Florence. Ooh, I don't know where he's from, Medusa, but look, Samuel
Briganti.
Brigante. He's in Italy. I'm not 100% where he's at, but dude, I I know what kind of tattoos you're into, and you will definitely dig that guy's work. Samuel Brigante. I don't have.
Bold will hold.
Yeah, Bold Will Hold is his
That-
shop, dude.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But yeah, if anybody else out there that's listening right now, especially Drag, you're from Spain, so you got any recommendations for Madrid? As far as Stockholm and Copenhagen, I don't know, man. I'd have to connect with Sam at Bold Will Hold. By the way, Justin, you're mentioning he had a book out, cost me $130,
Yeah.
but I bet you it's banging. There you go, Amsterdam,
Doesn't
Gakken, and the Sako.
doesn't Angelique I don't know where she tattoos out of. She's the Dutch tattooer that does the she does the dolls, like the traditional style.
Yeah.
Angelique.
I don't remember. There was another dude that I really dug that did like Viking tattoos. That was from. He said Stockholm, Sweden, and I know it's a different country, but I was thinking more like Norway, Finland, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I could probably pull some stuff together though, man, as on the people that I follow on Instagram, to just start rattling off some to you. Medusa just said he's heading to Hell City and Phoenix this month, and our moderator Nikki said that Phoenix Tattoo Convention years ago was good, and then Bill O'Connell said, "Yeah, Nikki, I went to Phoenix Convention for years, New Year's 1995, so much fun." Drag also said he likes going to the little ones. It's more like a family. Yeah, there's something to be said about the smaller conventions, man. I mean, granted, I would assume that you're not always going to get the highest caliber of, the rock star tattoo artists, but I think there are plenty of smaller conventions that do have amazing, phenomenal talent. Where maybe some of those people are mixed in.
Well, see, that's where I want to personally for me. That's where I like to catch a dude
Why he's on the rise?
while he's on like right before the break, man. You know what I mean? Because once they break, people get weird.
Yeah. Well. So how much of that attitude thing is part of the shops closing? Like guys, girls, whatever, artists that get like, they reach that next level. Some people can't handle fame. So
Dude,
they start getting a little attitude, and then people stop going, "Hey, man, I don't want to go to that guy. He's an asshole."
Dude, I'm full transparency, man. When I first bought my first tattoo shop, it does get like, suddenly there's people around you. There's people wanting to get tattooed. There's people wanting to learn to tattoo. There's money. There's women. There's all the things that come with like kind of being the center of group of people or of a scene, I didn't handle it that well.
Okay.
I got real crazy.
Well, I mean, that's so. Look, that could be some of it as well, right? So we're just theorizing here. It's not set in stone, but maybe there's certain shops that the people get like that, and then there are people that were going to them before are like, man, that guy is kind of an ass now. So maybe that some of that's happening as well. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Usually when people come in and get tattooed by me, and I was talking to somebody about it today, I'll get comments like, yeah, so-and-so, he put this janky ass line on me, but he's a really good dude. Like, they don't care about the janky ass line because they like the dude. And then a lot of tattoo people that come in, when they complain about other shops, that's what they complain about, the attitude. They were mean. They were dismissive. They treated me like I was bothering them.
Right.
They treated like when I said I wanted to move the stencil, I caught an attitude.
And I see that a lot, man. I see that a lot on comments and stuff like that for, different shops or whatever. I'm not saying like they're directed at the person that's posting, but when people talk about like shops closing and stuff like that, I see, a good amount of people going, hey man, well, if you didn't treat your customers like assholes, maybe things would be different. Or, hey, my shop's not dead right now because I am good to my customers, and I don't, they don't walk in the shop and I don't treat them like shit or act like they're bothering me, or tattoo with headphones on and don't even talk to them. I mean, I don't know. I think that there's enough shops out there where you're gonna find the people that you like. For whatever reason, man. Like maybe you aren't this overly social person and you don't want to talk to your tattoo artist for 4 hours. So the fact that the guy wears headphones or girl wears headphones, maybe you're cool with that. But there's other people that are like, dude, that's kind of beat.
Dude, it's like, Jerry Red, man. When Philadelphia Eddie retired, Jerry Red said, when I started tattooing, Jerry worked for Philadelphia Eddie. He said, if I had money on the game, you waited till the end of the game to get done, to get tattooed. You got tattooed when I wanted to tattoo you, right? Because what were you going to do back then? You were either going to go to Eddie's, you were going to cross the bridge, go over to Camden, or how many shops were there? 3, 4?
Yeah.
And it just isn't like that anymore. It's not like that at all. It's a service industry. Woman came in yesterday. She wanted to get a smiley face, like her daughter drew a smiley face in a card, right? I said, I'm tattooing my homie. Leave your number, and I'll call you. Knowing full well that when she leaves here, she's going to find
anybody could do the tattoo.
Yeah. So I call her, and she's like, oh wow, I'm really surprised you called. And I'm like, she's like, I'm out of the area now, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I hope if you ended up getting tattooed, it was a good experience for you, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to take care of you. And being genuine about it, like having a good heart about it. And she was like, yeah, I think my husband and I are going to get this. We'll come in and we'll see you. So that's how it's got to be.
A little customer service and a little pampering helps. It's going to go a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I don't want to walk into a shop and feel like I'm bothering somebody. I did that enough when I was a kid. Going into shops and, like old biker dude or whatever was kind of a dick, and you were like, ah. But you know what? It didn't matter because at the time I was like, well, there's not a lot of tattoo artists around, so I'm just going to get it done. Well, that's not going to work anymore. Those days are over, dude.
Those days are over.
And if you're going to be that type of person, then okay. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's also, you can't be this rock star, phenomenal tattoo artist and treat their customers like shit either. Because just because your shit's good doesn't mean that, people are going to put up with it.
Dude.
There's plenty of good tattoo artists out there that do phenomenal work. So I'm sure if one guy's an ass, the next person that can do the same exact work as this guy, people are going to go to that guy.
So years ago, I went to the Philadelphia convention, and I'm not going to mention the dude's name, right? But there was a tattoo artist. This was probably early 2000. He rolls in, man. It's like he's got the strippers on his arms, like one on either arm. There's just the cocaine and the sleeves are just coming off of him in waves because he is the Philadelphia rock and roll tattooer, right? He was on the cusp of all of it, dude. And like, I looked at him and I thought to myself, "Be careful, bro. You're hot right now. That's your life right now.
Yeah, right. Things can change.
Things can change."
People. I mean, you know, word of mouth spreads really quick, man.
And that dude,
really quick.
And that dude whose work that you disrespected, you might be asking him for a job.
And the other thing is, dude, is so back then, word of mouth spread quick. In this day and age, with the internet and social media, it's lightning quick, instantaneous. Boom. As soon as you get, you know, you treat somebody like shit, the word gets out. Boom. And there you go. So Chris Hawkins just said, "I don't want to poor work, but I'm with you on experience. I'll take a lesser tattoo from someone cool versus a dick."
All right, so
you know,
speaking of computers and social media, I got a dry stitch on myself and give my man Buck some credit, right? So I recently changed the shop phone number because I got a new service. Right?
No, you're skipping ahead, dude.
All right.
He says to me, "Dude, I can't believe the phone doesn't ring in the shop anymore. I got this new phone, and I can't believe the phone doesn't ring in the shop." Now go. Because you're making it like I'm a dick right off the bat.
No, I'm not saying you're a
Go
dick.
ahead.
I'm saying you. So I said, yeah, I got the new service, man, and nobody's calling. I don't know what's going on. Like the phone never rings. So Buck goes over, looks at Google
For a month. Go ahead.
and he calls the number on Google, and he's like, "Dude, there's no message on here. What's going on with this? There's no message." So I call from my phone to make sure that but my phone, my shop's message comes up, and then Buck's like, "Oh yeah, I see what the problem is. You put the wrong phone number on the Google listing."
On his Google ad. So if you were Googling the shop and you wanted to call Justin to be like, "Hey, man, I want to come in and get a tattoo," it was going to some jamoke's number that turned their phone off because they were probably sick of getting tattoo calls. And there was not even a message on there, dude. It would like go straight to, "You have reached."
Yeah, instead of like 9143, it was like 9413. I messed up two numbers. Hey, I'm a tattooer. I'm not a tech wizard.
Yeah, well, you would think that you'd want to test that immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that it's sad to see some of the older guys that are, you know, tapping out, calling it quits. I don't think that I saw a lot of rude comments about like, "Oh, if you're not, you don't want to keep doing this, screw you, whatever." Or, "Oh, well, you didn't try, you didn't do this, you didn't do that." And, you know, some of those guys, they did try, dude. They did try social media. They tried doing this. They tried doing that, and it's just still not working out for them. And, you know, I think some of those guys got 25, 30-plus years under their belts, and they're just like, "You know what, dude? It's time, man. Like, it's a young guy's game, and, you know, it is what it is."
Dude, and what do you do, like for real? What would, not even tattooers, but anybody, you give 25, 30 years to a career, whether it's being a computer engineer, a plumber, or a tattooer, and then suddenly the kids are like, you know, screw, you know, F you, man. You know what I mean? Like, how do you switch?
I mean, look, dude.
How do you switch careers in your 50s?
I'm 51 years old, and I, you know that what I do for a living is got a lot of younger people in it. So I know that I have to kind of stay up on my game, or at least make sure that my value is known. But it's also in a corporate world. So it's not like somebody that has a business on the outside. But I also know that there's always potential of, the young kid coming in and basically taking your job from you, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I think when you get 25, 30 years in a company, you're probably invested enough where you could retire. And at that point, like, I don't know, man, go be a Walmart greeter or something like that. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a wise ass, but
these
I think most people that retired let's call it young age, pre what, 67, right? They try to find gigs where they can do something to just kill the void. Now, you're talking about somebody that's in their 50s and they still got a while before they can retire. I mean, you're kind of hooped, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. It sucks, but.
So that, folks, that's why I've decided, and it's tattooers like me, right, that aren't breaking the internet, that are good, solid tattooers. We got to decide. We're going to fucking still tattoo. And that's it.
Yeah, well, look, man, as long as your work is good, which it is, I'm just saying in general, as long as your work is good, I don't see why you couldn't. Now,
but I mean, I mean, I have to adapt to social media.
You do,
right? I have to, my dumb ass has to watch YouTube videos at night to figure out how to not to use Instagram, because obviously I know how to look up porn as well as anybody else, but how to like promote with Instagram or how to promote with TikTok.
I like how you slid that right in there.
What?
Never mind. Anyway, no, but I understand.
Who caught it?
I understand what you're saying, but
like I got to learn new skills.
What,
man.
like, you think that I didn't have to watch a shit ton of YouTube videos on how to learn how to
right, but
use
but you have a work ethic and I'm lazy. That's the whole point of what we're doing here.
Well, that's a whole different story, man. I mean, I think that that's where some of the people are coming in and saying, "Hey, look, dude, resting on your laurels and having, work coming in the door all the time, those days are over."
Yeah, those days are over.
You know what I mean? And that's, I don't want to say it's catching some of the older guys by surprise, but maybe it is. I don't know.
See, I don't think my generation of tattooer can afford to have the same attitude as. I don't think the 25-year guys now can have the same attitude as the 25-year guys did when we started. Like when I started as a tattooer, 25-year-old guy probably was like, fuck you, kid,
Oh yeah. Well,
they weren't changing for nothing. They weren't learning anything new.
So Sailor Eddie said something yesterday that I thought was pretty valid.
And we can't afford to be like that.
He said a bunch of things that were valid, but
he usually does.
He said to me, we were talking about one guy in particular, and he said, man, he needs to go to a shop that he doesn't run the shop. He's just there as a tattooer, and he doesn't have to stress about bills and whatever else. But he's also got young people around him to kind of get the juices flowing again, reinvigorate them. Because maybe, years of sitting in a shop by himself or whatever is just gotten him to the point where he's just down on it. And if he got around some young people to get the fire going again, maybe that would be what he needed to get him over the edge. I don't think the gentleman we were talking about doesn't have that many years of tattooing left in him, I don't think. But he's also not ready to quit tattooing.
See, that's the reason I'm going to miss Pagoda, right? The reason I'm really going to miss Pagoda is because I would come away from Pagoda and I would be like, I love tattooing.
Yeah.
I would walk around Pagoda and see other tattooers and be like, I want to be that dude. I want to tattoo the way that dude does. And unfortunately, when I go to a lot of conventions, I don't want to tattoo the way the people at the conventions tattoo. I don't want to conduct myself the way they conduct themselves. And I'm not pointing out anybody in particular, but I mean, I've been to a bunch of conventions like where I'm might as well, might as well be a refrigerator convention.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Well,
It doesn't inspire me and get my heart going again.
Drag just said, I educated my daughter and she will overtake the shop.
Yes.
There you go. And then
Yes.
Chris Hawkins just said, body in motion stays in motion. So, we had a pretty decent crowd tonight. We had Bill O'Connell, Drag, Chris Hawkins. We had OG Sarah hanging out with us, Fat Cracker, Voodoo. Who did I miss? Mike Irons was hanging with us tonight. We had Artie stopped in. Tom was hanging out with us tonight, man. I haven't seen Tom in a bit.
What's up, Tom?
We also had, where is he? We got Luz hanging out tonight. Freddie Wadsworth came back. He was with us. He came on Friday night for the first time, man. He's from Central PA, so he's kind of local to us. And
So I don't know how many of the
Medusa hanging out with us too.
how many of the guys watching actually listen to what I have to say, but check out Tom's stuff on Instagram, man. He paints Flash, man,
Yeah.
and it's good.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of,
It's good stuff.
Lauren that used to come and hang out with us on Sunday nights every once in a while. She's killing it, dude. She's got she spent all that time painting Flash and stuff, and she's got a legit apprenticeship going. She
Nice.
got out of a really bad predicament with an apprenticeship that didn't go well, and not for her own doing. Just didn't work out, and she's in a shop now where they're treating her really good and teaching her, and she's been tattooing, man, which is cool, dude. She's been posting tattoos that she's doing. She said that she was going to go to Pagoda City to hang out and meet us. She was going to show up with her husband, and she wanted to meet us. And then she said last minute that she got booked enough that she was like, I don't want to not tattoo, so I'm not going to go to Pagoda City. So
That's what's
good
up.
on you, Lauren. If you see this, man, we're proud of you. It's very cool to see, our listeners succeed, man, which is freaking awesome. Because you know what? You guys are our family just as much as, people in this room. So I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like and share it. And we will catch you all next Sunday. Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.